So welcome to part one of
Get Fit for Beginners.
Yeah, is that what we're calling it?
Yeah, Get Fit for Beginners.
Yeah.
There could be maybe the slightly older generation. We've got a lot of sort of 50, 60, 70 year olds watching the channel.
Yeah.
That might be slightly younger generation but never exercised before. This is Get Fit for Beginners.
So today's episode we're going to take you through the squat. Okay, we're going to take you the ins and outs, easier ways to do it, give you the methods to build it up, and then give you a wee challenge at the end.
Yeah, give you a little routine that you can put into practice and that you can build up progressively over the coming weeks. And I hope you appreciate us doing this in the rain.
Yeah. It's surprisingly not cold though. Well, let's check. No, nipples can't quite cut glass yet, so...
It's funny, the camera's got an umbrella, but we're out in the rain.
That snobby camera, that,
I
eh?
know.
Yeah. We should have said cameraman. It makes it sound like it's a person,
Oh,
right?
of course, yeah. We don't use a tripod.
Amateurs. Right, so we're going to take you through. So to start off with, the benefits of the squat are
Huge.
huge.
Okay, so everybody squats, or I say everybody, most people squat in everyday life without realising it, okay? Every time you sit down onto a seat, onto the toilet, you are squatting. You've also got a lot of squat movements. They're not necessarily a squat, but are the same muscles used and the same movement pattern. So going upstairs, for instance, you're still going from that sort of pushing position.
We tend to find that the invention of the toilet was obviously a benefit, but it's also a bit of a bane in a way, because it means that people don't squat all the way to the floor like we would naturally in the wild. Now the issue with that is, over time, there's the vastus medialis obliques. I won't bore you too much with that, but that's all the ligaments and tendons around the knee. Now, if you squatted to the floor every day, like right to the floor, those would be all stretched, they'd be in good condition, you wouldn't have any problems. When we sit on chairs or sit in car seats, well, we come to about a 90-degree angle. Now today we're going to be taking you roughly to that squat because it's a safe way to do it in the beginning.
Yep.
But long term, you want to be trying to get as low as you can mechanically go. And the reason for it is, it's funny, you won't think twice about kneeling down to get into a cupboard. Now, when you kneel all the way down, you're stretching the VMO to its full. And that's why people get injured doing gardening when they're weeding away, or they're down in a small cupboard for 10 or 15 minutes at a time. They get up and they feel their knees. I've heard of people even getting locked in that position, and that's because the VMO is not trained, it's not stretched, it's not conditioned.
You've also got to consider the hips as well for exactly the same reasons. Now, typically speaking, we'll go to a 90-degree angle, okay? So your body's here, your thighs are here, okay? So you're looking at a 90-degree angle. However, in that deep squat position, the squat position that toddlers will do without even questioning it or asking how to do it, they will just go deep down into squat, bum to floor, and then they can play with toys, you can look for bugs, you can do whatever. But it's the same as how you would normally go to the toilet. This takes basically, I don't know if I can demonstrate this without flashing. So basically, you want to think about your knee is going to be up here, so you've got this huge degree of angle at the hip joint as well. The hips are responsible for so much, your posture, your long-term health and mobility. So you have to basically challenge them and just gradually but surely take them through greater ranges.
Now don't be frightened, we're not going to be taking you bum to the floor today.
Nah.
This is all about beginners. We're just talking long-term goals. That's where you want to be aiming towards.
Yeah.
And there's that whole question, you might go to a fitness class, for example, and you might ask a trainer, oh, where should I squat to? Now they're going to play it safe, because nearly everybody can squat to at least 90 degrees. And they're playing it safe for their insurance, etc. But for your health, long term, you want to be working towards bum to the floor.
Yeah. And this is fitness for beginners, so if you can't get to the 90 degrees, that's okay. Work to your own level. We've actually got a gentleman on our coaching program who can't squat to 90 degrees, and that's absolutely perfect. We can work with that. Look at your own level and then just keep building up and apply what we're going to teach you today into a routine.
We're going to give you in stages, so it'll be like a 45-degree base at a half squat, and then we'll show you the sort of full squat technique, little tips and tricks you can do. Work to whatever level you can get to, but always keep in your mind to be pushing to the next level if you can.
On to the squat. Okay, so although we're next to the seat, before we use that, we're going to do a half squat. Okay, so it's just bending the legs, sticking the hips out behind you, feet hip distance apart, stick the hips out and then back up again. Okay, so just bending the legs and pushing back up again. Now what we're trying to do with the squat is we're trying to get the glutes activated. Now what a lot of people will try to do is you're trying to get the knees going straight down and almost kind of like you're just sort of bowing down. We don't want to do that. We don't want to just bend the legs, we want to stick the hips out behind you. Stick your bum out and then back up again, okay? So that's a half squat, okay? So most people will be able to do that to different degrees. Depending on how fit or strong you are, we can then go into the chair squat or the sofa squat. Right, so the squat, we're going to start very, very simply, something that you do every single day, and that's standing up and sitting down from a seat position. Okay, ideally, we don't want to be using the hands, but if you have to use the hands to start with, that's okay. Okay, so we'll start hip distance apart with the feet. Now, to start with, we'll use the hands, okay? This is fitness for beginners, so we'll use the hands on the legs, okay, just to give you a little bit of support, and we just sit down onto the bench and then stand back up again. Okay, that's something that you probably do every single day. So we're going to build that up. The squat movement then continues, so we can actually take the hands off the thighs and carry on. Okay, so depending on the height of the seat, we'll make the exercise more difficult or easier. Okay, now if you do that 100 times a day, you are soon going to feel it. Right, so next we've got a little challenge, which is the hover. Okay, so still do it next to a seat or a sofa or something. We squat down, we hover just a couple of inches above the seat, and we hold to get the thighs burning, get the lactic acid building up, get the tension through the muscles. And eventually, when you reach your limit, you can then collapse onto the seat. We can come up and we can repeat the process. Okay, so next, if you've gone through those levels, we can then go into a deep squat. Okay, so come away from the seat and we're looking for that full movement. Okay, so you're coming all the way down, as far down as you possibly can, as far as your flexibility, your mobility and your strength will allow. Okay, we're trying to get as deep as you can while maintaining a straight back and knees in alignment with your toes. Okay, and that is the full squat, full body weight squat. Obviously, in more advanced circumstances, you can then start add weight and whatnot, but we don't add weight to the beginners programs for now. Okay, and last but not least, we've got the sumo or the wide leg squat. So what we're looking for here is a wide leg position. We're looking for the knees to go as wide as you possibly can, and we sink into the hips. There we are. So what we're looking to do here is really great for the glutes, it's really good for the inside of the thighs, and it's going to be slightly uncomfortable for the hips, and we actually want that. That's a good thing because it really starts to open up the hips in a very, very good way.
Okay, now we're going to prescribe you a bit of a workout, so it's beginners.
Yeah, so it's all to do with putting this into a routine. Now the most important thing about any program, whether it be beginner or advanced, is progression. You have to progress your fitness.
So from there, choose the level that is suitable for you to start with, whether that's the half squat, the sofa squat. If you're advanced enough for the full squat or deep squat, great.
Yep. And so looking at your own level, and there's no right or wrong with this. What we're going to do is we're going to give you a little program that you can give it a go. If you're finding it too easy, make it more difficult, which we'll show you in a second. If it's too difficult, yeah, make it a little bit easier.
But always progression, build it up.
Okay, so let's start.
It's going to be 3 sets of 10 repetitions at your level to begin with, plus a maximal level of a sofa hover. Okay, so you've got the sofa there, or the chair, or whatever you use, a bench as we did. So you squat down, hover just above, and go for a maximum. Try and time yourself as well. You might get to 10 seconds the first time, maybe not as much as that, maybe get to 30 seconds. And the idea is that's going to really build strength in those muscles, and it's going to help all your squats. And when you collapse, you're on the chair anyway.
And it's really, really easy to monitor your progression with this, because you literally just set your stopwatch, you do it for as long as you can, and then when you do it again the week after, you try and go for it a little bit longer.
Once the 3 sets of 10's easy, we're going to give you a choice. If mechanically you can move up to the next level, so if you were at half squats and you can move up to either the sofa squats or full squats.
Yep, or need the sumo squats.
Yep. Go ahead and do that and repeat 3 sets of 10. If mechanically you can't do that, then I think they should up it to 3 sets of 20.
Yeah, just increase the repetitions. 3 sets of 20 will really start to challenge your muscles, and as long as you maintain that progression throughout the next several months, you'll certainly get fit. So once you've done your 3 sets of 20, if you're still looking for the extra progression, you could go more reps, but what we like to do is stick to roughly 20 repetitions of your squats and go for more sets.
Keeping the quality within each set.
Yeah, you want a really good quality squat. 3 sets of 20 is great. As your next progression, I would go to 5 sets. You're looking at 100 squats. When we're at those levels, when you're thinking, great, I've done 100 squats, it's a good sense of satisfaction, especially if you're a beginner. So you're looking at 100 squats, great, I've done that. Then we can actually start to have a bit of fun with it. Let's just see what sort of numbers you can get to. Can you get to 200? Can you get to 500?
Because by that stage, you're not so much a beginner anymore.
Exactly, and you can look into more advanced workout routines.
So remember, baby steps, small progression, but always progression.
Always, always progress. It's the key to health and fitness.